Genesis chapter 32, KJV, Trivia. Genesis chapter 32, question 1. As Jacob went on his way, he met angels of God. When Jacob saw them, he said, "This is God's host." What did he name that place? A. Mizpah, B. Mahanaim, C. Luz, D. Bethel. The correct answer is B. Mahanaim, found in Genesis 32, verses 1 and 2. And Jacob went on his way, and the angels of God met him. And when Jacob saw them, he said, "This is God's host." And he called the name of that place Mahanaim. Genesis chapter 32, question 2. Jacob sent messengers to his brother Esau in the land of Seir. In what country? A. Edom, B. Canaan, C. Egypt, D. Gilead. The correct answer is A. Edom, found in Genesis 32, verse 3. And Jacob sent messengers before him to Esau his brother, unto the land of Seir, in the country of Edom. Genesis chapter 32, question 3. Jacob sent messengers to Esau to find favor in his eyes. When the messengers returned to Jacob, how many men did they say were with Esau? A. 400, B. 500, C. 600, D. 700. The correct answer is A. 400, found in Genesis 32, verse 6. And the messengers returned to Jacob, saying, "We came to thy brother Esau, and he also cometh to meet thee, and 400 men with him." Genesis chapter 32, question 4. When Esau was coming with 400 men to meet Jacob, it caused much fear and distress for Jacob. Because he feared an attack, Jacob divided his people, flocks, herds, and camels into how many bands? A. 6 bands, B. 4 bands, C. 3 bands, D. 2 bands. The correct answer is D. 2 bands, found in Genesis 32, verses 6 through 8. And the messengers returned to Jacob, saying, "We came to thy brother Esau, and he cometh to meet thee, and 400 men with him." Then Jacob was greatly afraid and distressed, and he divided the people that was with him, and the flocks, and the herds, and the camels, into 2 bands, and said, "If Esau come to the one company and smite it, then the other company which is left shall escape." Genesis chapter 32, question 5. Jacob offered a gift to Esau. What was it? A. Gold, B. Silver, C. Livestock, D. Grain. The correct answer is C, found in Genesis 32, verses 13 through 15. And he lodged there that same night, and took of that which came to his hand a present for Esau his brother, 200 she-goats and 20 he-goats, 200 ewes and 20 rams, 30 milch camels with their colts, 40 kine and 10 bulls, 20 she-asses and 10 foals, Genesis chapter 32, question 6. Jacob gave a gift to his brother Esau in an attempt to pacify him. Who delivered the livestock to Esau? A. Jacob, B. Jacob's servants, C. Jacob's children, D. Jacob's wives and their maidservants. The correct answer is B. Jacob's servants, found in Genesis 32, verses 16 through 21. And he delivered them into the hand of his servants, every drove by themselves, and said unto his servants, Pass over before me, and put a space betwixt drove and drove. And he commanded the foremost, saying, When Esau my brother meeteth thee, and asketh thee, saying, Whose art thou, and whither thou goest, and whose are these before thee? Then thou shalt say, They be thy servant Jacob's. It is a present sent unto my lord Esau, and behold also, he is behind us. And so commanded he the second and the third, and all that followed the drove, saying, On this manner shall ye speak unto Esau, when ye find him. And say ye, moreover, Behold, thy servant Jacob is behind us. For he said, I will appease him with the present that goeth before me, and afterward I will see his face. Peradventure he will accept of me. So went the present over before him, and himself lodged that night in the company. Genesis chapter 32, question 7. The night before Jacob met Esau, he took his 2 wives, his 2 maidservants, and 11 sons, and crossed the ford of what brook? A. Jezreel, B. Joktan, C. Judea, D. Jabbok. The correct answer is D, found in Genesis 32, verses 22 and 23. And he rose up that night and took his 2 wives and his 2 women servants and his 11 sons and passed over the ford Jabbok. And he took them and sent them over the brook and sent over that he had. Genesis chapter 32, question 8. What happened to Jacob as a result of wrestling with the man all night? A. Jacob's thigh was out of joint. B. Jacob's knee was out of joint. C. Jacob's wrist was out of joint. D. Jacob's arm was out of joint. The correct answer is A, found in Genesis 32, verses 24 through 26. And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh, and the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint, as he wrestled with him. And he said, Let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me. Genesis chapter 32, question 9. Because Jacob wrestled with God and with men, and prevailed, what new name was given to him? A. Penuel, B. Peniel, C. Jabbok, D. Israel. The correct answer is D, Israel, found in Genesis 32, verses 27 through 29. And he said unto him, What is thy name? He said, Jacob. And he said, Thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince thou hast power with God and with men, and hast prevailed. And Jacob asked him and said, Tell me, I pray thee, thy name. And he said, Wherefore is it that thou ask after my name? And he blessed him there. Genesis chapter 32, question 10. After Jacob received his new name, Israel, he gave that place a name and said, "For I have seen God face to face, and my life is preserved." What name did he give that place? A. Penuel, B. Peniel, C. Jabbok, D. Israel. The correct answer is B. Peniel, found in Genesis 32, verses 29 through 31. And Jacob asked him and said, "Tell me, I pray thee, thy name." And he said, "Wherefore is it that thou dost ask after my name?" And he blessed him there. And Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, "For I have seen God face to face, and my life is preserved." And as he passed over Penuel, the sun rose upon him, and he halted upon his thigh. Genesis chapter 32, question 11. Because of what happened to Jacob's hip when wrestling with God, to this day the Israelites do not eat a part that is attached to the socket of the hip. What is it? A. Marrow, B. Skin, C. Sinew, D. Leg bone. The correct answer is C. Sinew, found in Genesis 32, verse 32. Therefore, the children of Israel do not eat the sinew which shrank, which is upon the hollow of the thigh, unto this day, because he touched the hollow of Jacob's thigh in the sinew that shrank.